I know. This is finals, right?
Runners-up final, yep.
Ooh la la.
This isn't going to make any difference to the overalls,
Not really.
but it's almost just a token gesture now. There's still people fighting for places.
But this can also change, no? Like the.
I'm going to just give you a bit of a summary before we do this runners-up final. So by my maths, if Enrico Marotti and Goya do well in this final and they're ahead of Matteo Iachino, they'll obviously finish first and second. Doesn't matter the order. If Marotti won it, it would make a difference. But Matteo would then probably stay in third. Maciej Rakowski will stay in fourth if Johan So is outside the top four. Fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth would be okay. And Maciej Rakowski would still win the 2020 world title. If Johan So has a stormer and he moves ahead of Maciej Rakowski, which he would need, if he won it, for example, he'd have 14.7 points. Maciej would have 18, yes. So if he got a fourth, he'd have 18 points. You'd have 18, but you would win because you've got a second.
Mm-hmm.
So if he finishes fourth or worse, Maciej stays, as far as I can work out. Yeah, Maciej stays in fourth place, and then he's relying on Matteo Iachino to not beat Nicolas Goya or Enrico Marotti. Those guys are 1 to 2 points ahead. So if Matteo was to win, but Enrico was second, he would still stay behind Enrico, but he would go ahead of Nico Goya. So basically, if Nico Goya and Marotti beat Iachino and Johan So is not in the top four, Maciej Rakowski will still be the 2022 world champion. We'll go back into that in the final in a minute, but this is the runners-up final, still all to play for. This is kind of like the warm-up heat. If the wind was to drop, and this would be a counting result, Maciej Rakowski would still win the world title. Just putting it out there. You never know. So there are some... this is going to be absolutely tense. And no more for the man that's sitting next to me, Maciej Rakowski. So, Amado Vrieswijk at the front of the fleet. We saw Basil Jacquin break his UJ earlier, which was crazy. He's just rolled Basil Jacquin. And here's Amado that's going to go around in first place. Still everything to play for. You know, you still want to put yourself up there. Really tight racing behind, but it's Amado Vrieswijk first. Basil Jacquin second. And then it looks like Pierre Mortefon.
Amado can be on the podium, no? Or not?
No.
Amado, well, we'll work it out in a second. I think Enrico gets it. It's tense, actually, because Amado will overtake Albo, and he will overtake Matthias Isaac. Is Isaac in the final?
Yeah, it's his final.
Oh, he's in the final. Okay, so that will make a difference. If he could have overtook those two, he could have moved up to 6. Yeah, it would have been made a difference. It's so close, this world title race. Amado Vrieswijk leading this runners-up final. Basil Jacquin second. Pierre Mortefon third.
He will only move to 7. Because in the
Now
worst
because
case,
of Matthias.
Yeah.
If
in worst case,
if Matthias Isaac
8
hadn't have been,
is 27, and it's going to be 28. 29, actually, points. No?
he can't overtake Matthias.
No.
So that means he can only get to 7th, which means a first and a 7th is 8. So, but he's leading it. It's a good way to finish 2022 with a win. Although not in the, if this had been in the final, it would have changed everything. So, Amado Vrieswijk, Basil Jacquin, Pierre Mortefon. A lot of pumping going on, staying on the foil. One jibe mark left before we go to the final, and my stomach is already going.
I'm shaking.
I feel nervous. I'm not sure how much
I don't know how he's feeling, but I'm feeling like I want to die.
I'm so nervous. One jibe mark to go. Okay, not saying this race doesn't count, but I mean this doesn't count compared to what we've got coming up. Amado Vrieswijk just giving us the run in. Whew. Just breathe, everybody.
It is getting lighter.
Breathe.
I don't know. Ah. Imagine being on 9-0 the whole day with this big front wing. Woo.
Andy says, give Maciek a hug for Christ's sake.
I gave him a hug already.
He's
It's
had a
okay.
hug. Tatty's giving out the hugs, don't worry. So, Amado Vrieswijk wins that runners-up final, 9th place for him, 10th place in that for Basil Jacquin. Then we've got Pierre Mortefon. We've got Jassenas, I think.
Yeah.
And then a few more people. Right, let's get it on. Final coming up. This is where everything is going to play out, and we will crown the 2022 Men's World Champion. Lots at stake in this. World titles at stake, but also event wins at stake. So Matteo Iachino, Nicholas Goya, and Enrico Marotti are going for the event win. Enrico Marotti can still win this, you know.
Title?
If Johan So goes ahead of Matteo Iachino,